Hey, also I'm going to do a video today that many of you have requested since then. It's been about 3 months since I recorded the video on PSA opening up 4 of my Neo Genesis First Edition packs while in their possession, and then they just sent them back as N5 altered. They never mentioned anything about compensation, that kind of stuff. And I finally got a potential final resolution today, which we'll get into it a little bit more. But if you don't remember, back on the 16th of October, I recorded a video going through the entire process, showing the packs that were open at PSA. And essentially, you know, they weren't doing anything about it at the time. And I talked to different representatives over the next week or two, trying to get some kind of resolution, see what was going to happen, what was going to be done. And all of them pushed me towards the CRC, which is the Customer Service or Customer Request Center. So I submitted a request through there. They said they would get back to me within 5 days. They did not. And I just so happened to be reached out, or Dustin at PSA reached out to me because he had saw a video about my concerns with the registry with the Charizard set. And he actually was really accommodating with that, fighting to get some cool stuff happen there, which I really appreciate. And I mentioned this, I was like, hey, nobody seems to be taking this serious, nobody's taking any initiative on this. And he basically took care of it. He said that, you know what, I'm going to push it through some people that I know. He got the process expedited, and within a day or two I had an actual label. And I was a little concerned there because they were wanting me to send the packs in to be resubmitted, which was weird because it's like the packs are already opened. I know that they're not going to be encased because PSA opened the packs. So what is going on? Why do you want the packs going back in? And he reached out to him, and they gave him the response. It looked like he just copied it over into my email, and basically it said, we need you to resubmit it so for our examination to see if anything can be salvaged, see if they can be resubmitted, graded, you know, that kind of thing. But also, you know, if they do determine that they caused it, they might be able to grade the cards as compensation. And they just need documentation, pretty much was the big thing there. And if I have the email screenshot, I will try to put it on the screen right there. Hopefully I can find it within the video itself. Now, PSA has done a lot of good things in this past year. They've really worked with set collectors, recognizing new variants, putting new sets in there. And I've been, you know, basically impressed with how much they've changed. You know, they used to be really closed door about that kind of stuff, but we've been able to get a lot of cards recognized and put in there. But you know, with this whole situation, it really was a step back because, you know, I've sent in sealed product with them before, never had issues. I've never had an issue even with a customer, like with anything being opened up or tampered with, and this was 4 packs from a sealed box that I had. And in fact, there were other packs on the submission, you guys remember, but the last 4 were all open. So, I mean, it was really concerning, especially since they didn't even mention anything. Now, fast forward, you know, we're 3 months later. I was told it was going to be taken care of pretty quickly, but I don't know, it just didn't happen. So today's the 17th of January. I get a call from, I believe her name was Jeanette. I may be saying that incorrectly. She was very patient, very polite. I was getting quite angry throughout the entire phone call. I was not vulgar or anything like that, but I was talking. I started getting a little louder as I went because basically they claimed that it wasn't their fault, and they're not going to do anything other than refund my grading fee. So basically being told right now, we're not going to do anything. The packs that we opened up, it's on you. They're claiming that they didn't open them. They said that, you know, they reviewed all the footage and they were professional throughout the entire process. They said Steve Hart claimed again that they were not authentic. They were N5 altered, whatever you want to call it. And of course, I mean, they were never going to be regraded. The packs had already been opened, but when I sent them to them, they were sealed. And I asked to see the footage where it shows when they got them, because that should be all the proof that they need. As soon as they took it out of the package and verified that they were sealed packs, that's all that I would need. If you could see right there, and they could see right there that they were sealed as soon as they got into their possession, then they should know. Through the entire process, once I got them back and they were opened, it had to have been opened while they were there, but I could not. They would not provide any of that footage. They would not take any responsibility, and I was trying to make it. She wouldn't say anything about the packs being opened or sealed or anything like that. The entire process of the conversation of the phone, she was just saying we've just deemed that they couldn't be encased in, they were not authentic or altered. One of those two things. I'm like, well, we knew that. They were sealed. That's why I sent it back. That was the whole point. You guys opened them up sometime at the process of your plant or whenever they sent them off to. The only name she dropped was Steve Hart. I think I heard Rattle talk about that a little bit. Maybe that's the guy with BBCE. I'm not really sure, what the whole process is there. But again, they would not provide footage, and they're basically telling me that they weren't going to do anything in terms of compensation for the values of the packs or the fact that they were open there. Of course, she didn't admit to them opening it there. And you know what? To me, this is kind of the resolution that I about expected, because why would they take responsibility for something like that when I don't have proof on my end? And the thing is, I know that they were sent in sealed. I've never had an issue with PSA before. And the fact that there was four of them in a row, and all of them were pushed through the bottom and the seals were broken, should be very telling that it happened while I was in their possession. But at the moment, I don't have a resolution other than what she's given me, and that was they're going to refund my grading fee, which is basically nothing compared to the price of the packs themselves. So because I wasn't accepting that, she offered to send me to her supervisor, which she couldn't do right then. They have to set up something else. So, that's going to be another time when, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't take another 3 months to get that conversation started. But I'm going ahead and posting this now because it has been 3 months already, and to me that's way too long to have something like this resolved. Especially, I've done business with them for so long. I guess in a way, a lot of times when businesses hear that, they don't really care. But I would think that you would when it's been over a decade. I've never had an issue like this before. And I've had many issues with them damaging my packs, or not damaging packs, but damaging the PSA holders when they send them in. And I always contact them immediately, provide every picture that they need. I've got a box full of cards that they misgraded. Like, you can tell the grade is way wrong. And sometimes that kind of stuff happens, but when they opened up the packs and they didn't want to take any responsibility, really it's just struck a different string in me. Now that I'm to this point, you got to ask yourself, what are your options? I can get mad, I could stop my services, I could lawyer up, or I could get over it. And at this point, I don't want to get mad. I am mad. I'm trying not to be. Of course, I'm not going to pursue a lawyer because the packs themselves really aren't worth that, and I would lose just from knowing that unless there's a way that I could force them to show the footage of when it come in there, which again, it would still cost way more. I'm not going to do something like that. And then stopping services, that's really something that everything in me wants to say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. But sometimes you just got to step back and think about it. Something I've always told my kids, I'm trying to instill this into them while they're young. One, you're not perfect. That really doesn't have much to do with this. People make mistakes. But two, you don't always get what you want. Life is not fair. Now, a lot of people tell you life is fair. Life should be fair, but you know what? It's not. There's going to be times where you get the short end of the stick, and someone else less deserving, they're going to get something better than you. And that's going to happen. That's life. And I think it's good that people realize that, not everything has to be completely justified. And on PSA's end, this is just one scenario. I mentioned it before. Maybe some worker there who just was new. He messed up. He didn't report it. He was scared. He didn't want to lose his job because, that's the job that feeds his family. I really don't know what happens. That's all me assuming, jumping to conclusions right there. But I do know that when I sent them in, they were sealed, and I was hoping that PSA would take responsibility there, but they haven't. And so I'm angry over it. I know that I've been slighted. However, sometimes that happens. I have so much in my life where I've gotten the long end of the stick, and I understand that. I come from poverty, and I'm not in poverty now. I've already been born into a place where we have so many freedoms, and so sometimes it's good just to take a step back and realize, this is just one of those times in life where, it's not fair. It's not happening the way that it should, but you know what? At the end of the day, I've still got a really good life going for me. This should not affect me in a way where I'm losing sleep over it. Now, there's some other things that, I can consider. I do say that, life is not fair, but still at the end of the day, they're a professional company and there should be some responsibility held on their end. And that's why I think I'm angry about it. I think that's why my last video got a lot of views, but they have already lost a lot of business, a lot more than $2,000 worth of business. A lot of the business that I send to them actually doesn't even go through my own account. It goes through someone else. But I am considering pulling my registry at the moment, because really the registry is just a liability. It's very nice. It's very cool to just have a place where I can have everything organized. I can see it. Other places can see it. You can get into a competition. You can strive to make that Charizard master set. And at the moment, I've got 58 complete sets on there, and almost all of them are top 5. In fact, 35 of the sets that I have in the registry are #1 in the world. And I've put a lot of work into it, but at the same time, I could easily just pull it. I mean, I could go through my inventory and delete everything out, and it's not like it would hurt PSA that much. I mean, I still have the cards and stuff, but to me, it's more of like a loyalty type thing. And I've been so loyal to PSA in many ways, but at the same time, where are they going to take care of me? When stuff like this comes up, especially since, I give them free consultations for high-end items. I mean, it's not very often that it happens, but I have several times in the past. I've given them items at a really steep discounted price for promotional reasons, and I've tagged them on Instagram, give them shout outs and stuff. And, I think I'm going to be stopping that, giving all this free publicity for a company that doesn't really have that same mutual respect back from me. And even if I wasn't, known in any way, like I didn't have that registry stuff, I think there should be some level of professionalism that they have for any customer, no matter how big or small. You should have responsibility, be able to take responsibility for the items while they're in your possession. I mean, how hard would it be to have cameras on anyone opening up packages? I mean, they're already scanning the stuff in to show that it's been received. Scan it again when it's being opened, and then you've got a log that's automatically going into a computer system. So if something like this ever happens, you can go check a time on that camera log. Because I mean, I've got like a terabyte of memory or something like that for my 8 cameras, and it lasts 8 months. I mean, and that costs nothing. I mean, they could do something like that where they've got this backlog for as long as they have the item, they can check it. And if something like this ever comes up, they can nip it in the bud really quick. Because that's all it would take. It would just take them showing me a snippet of when they pulled it out of that box, and they could see that it was 100% sealed. And when it shipped out, it wasn't no longer. The packs were already open, so it would have to have happened while in their possession. That's all it would have taken. Now I realize there's a lot more that goes into something like that, but I would think that it'd be relatively easy to have something like that set up. I would think that they would have video footage that they could provide, proving that either it was damaged when it got there and they forgot to file an insurance claim, or it wasn't and it's their fault. And to me, if they don't, if it costs so much money to put in that kind of stuff, they should have that extra money set aside, for cases like this where it's obvious that it was their fault, because there's no way 4 packs were opened up. It wasn't in an airplane and busted because of the air holes. These all have air holes in them. I've shipped thousands of packs and never once had that happen. Guys, that was like the #1 answer that everyone gave in the last video, but that's not what happened. And somebody there opened it up, and I hate that it happened, but I really wish that they would have taken responsibility for it. Now, I've got one more page here of different items that I want to talk about. A lot of this I'm kind of shooting from the hip, but one good thing is the video that I got, I almost had 100,000 views. It had 97,000 views. In fact, it was the 10th ranked video I've ever put out on my YouTube. I don't know if it'll get any more views. I mean, it's tapered off now, but I've actually got 563 new subscribers because of it. So for those of you who subscribed to my channel after that video, I appreciate you. And I also got $493.16 in revenue. So that almost pays for an entire pack, just the revenue. I mean, eBay's going to take, or YouTube's going to take their money out. But the subs, I don't know how much a sub is worth, but in my mind, I'm just going to tell myself, those 563 subs, even if just one of you makes a difference, on my channel. For all I know, some of you could have been the people donating to NAMI or giving me extra business. So that's some good that has come from it. Even though the video was a negative video in one way, I did nothing but tell the truth, and I'm glad for the extra subscribers that have come from it. So if you want to help in any way, or learn from first, let's say, why don't you learn from my mistakes? I didn't record it before I sent to PSA. You know, that may have helped my case. I don't know if it did or would have or not, especially since I'm telling them that I opened it from a sealed box. But I don't know if that would have helped my case or not, since they're saying that they can see and they have video proof that they didn't do anything wrong, but they're also not providing that footage. And all I would need is the footage of them pulling them, opening up the package and showing that the packs were opened when they received them, and then that would, you know, shut my mouth. However, we know that's not the case, and if they do provide that, I would definitely take it back and I would put out a public apology. But I sent those packs sealed, and there's no way 4 of them opened up magically in the mail. And then if you want to help out with this video, you can share. Just let other people know, you know, when you're sending off PSA, just do your due diligence. Be as thorough as you can before you send it into them, because that was the main thing that they were requesting from me in the first 2 weeks or so. They were wanting me to send the video proof that I had opened these from a box, which I have, and which I did not send them the video, which I have. I did open up the packs from a box, but I can't remember. I couldn't find a video where I had did that specific one. I had previous boxes that I had done, but I didn't want to send them the wrong box either, because then that's compromising my own integrity as well. So I hope you guys take this video to heart, and I will give you another update once I hear from the manager. I'm not expecting anything else at this point. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt over the next 3 months that they would make it right, because I've been kind of losing my patience on it, but I've just kind of waited, you know, and finally I got a call today, and of course it did not go the way that I wanted to.